A left-handed pen costs 3 times what a right-handed one does, and the economics behind that gap explain why entire markets collapse. Most people don't notice this because they are right-handed, but if you are left-handed, you felt the sting. A simple ballpoint pen marketed as ambidextrous still smudges when your hand passes over wet ink. A pair of scissors that claims to work both ways won't cut, and the moment you find a product that actually works, the price tag is often double or triple what the right-handed equivalent costs. This isn't a conspiracy, it's economics, and understanding why reveals a fundamental principle about how manufacturing, scale, and market demand interact. Exhibit 1, the scale problem. About 10% of the global population is left-handed. That sounds significant until you think like a manufacturer. If you're a pen company running a production line, every SKU, every distinct product variation, requires its own tooling, its own inventory management, its own quality control checkpoint. A right-handed pen is the baseline. A left-handed version, that's a separate product. You're splitting your production volume across 2 lines, instead of concentrating it on one. This matters because manufacturing economics are brutal about scale. When you produce 10 million right-handed pens, your per unit cost drops sharply. You negotiate better material prices. Your machines run longer without retooling. Your quality inspectors catch patterns faster. Now split that volume. 5 million right-handed, 5 million left-handed. Your per unit cost on both products just climbed because you lost the efficiency of concentration. Exhibit 2, the fixed cost trap. Every product requires research and development, testing, regulatory approval, marketing, packaging design, distribution network setup. These costs don't scale linearly, they are fixed. A company might spend $200,000 developing a left-handed ergonomic keyboard. That cost gets spread across every unit sold. Sell 1 million units and it's 20 cents per keyboard. Sell 50,000, that's $4 per unit before you've even manufactured anything. This is why niche products always cost more. The denominator in the cost per unit equation shrinks, and left-handed products are textbook niche. A pen manufacturer might sell left-handed pens to maybe 8 to 12% of their addressable market, not even the full 10% of left-handed people, because some left-handed consumers have adapted to right-handed tools, or they simply don't know a left-handed option exists. Exhibit 3, the demand feedback loop. Because left-handed products are expensive, fewer people buy them. Because fewer people buy them, manufacturers see weak demand signals. Weak demand means they won't invest in new left-handed variants or innovations, which means the product category stays stagnant, expensive, and unappealing. It's a self-reinforcing cycle that nobody predicted would trap an entire consumer segment. But here's where it gets interesting. Some manufacturers have figured out how to break this loop. They don't manufacture left-handed products separately. They design ambidextrous or truly neutral products from the start. A pen with a symmetrical grip, scissors with identical blades, keyboards with no directional bias. The upfront design cost is higher, but the production cost is identical. You're making one product, not two. This strategy works when the market is large enough to justify the design investment. A major tech company can afford to make a truly ambidextrous mouse because the total addressable market is millions of units. A small artisanal pen maker cannot. They lack the capital to redesign their entire product line for a segment that represents maybe 8% of their sales. Exhibit 4, the historical context. Left-handedness was once actively suppressed in schools and workplaces. Children were forced to write with their right hands. This created artificial cultural pressure that reduced the visible left-handed population for decades. Even as that pressure eased, manufacturers had already optimized their entire supply chains for right-handed consumers. Changing course meant disrupting systems built over a century. This is the core insight. Left-handed products cost more because of the interaction between 3 forces: low population share, high fixed costs per SKU, and historical infrastructure lock-in. Remove any one of those forces, and the price gap collapses. But all 3 exist together, creating a stable, predictable market inefficiency that nobody had a strong incentive to fix until recently. The broader lesson extends far beyond pens and scissors. Any niche consumer segment, whether defined by disability, preference, or circumstance, faces this same pricing penalty. Adaptive clothing for wheelchair users, gluten-free specialty foods, minority language software. The economics are identical. Lower volume per SKU means higher per unit cost. Higher cost means lower demand. Lower demand justifies not investing in innovation or competition. The market stays expensive and stagnant. Understanding this doesn't fix the problem, but it explains why the problem exists, and it reveals what would need to change to solve it. You'd need either a significant increase in the addressable market, which won't happen with left-handedness since it's biologically stable, or a fundamental redesign of production to eliminate the SKU split, or regulatory intervention that mandates universal design standards. None of these are happening soon, so the left-handed pen will remain expensive, not because manufacturers are greedy, but because the system itself creates a cost structure that's genuinely hard to escape. It's predictable, it's rational, and once you see it, you'll notice this same pattern everywhere, in every market where a minority of consumers need something slightly different from the majority baseline. This video is for educational and informational purposes only and is not financial advice. Always do your own research. Subscribe for weekly breakdowns of how economic systems trap us and why those traps were predictable all along. Subscribe for weekly breakdowns of how economic systems trap us and why those traps were predictable all along. This video is for educational and informational purposes only and is not financial advice. Always do your own research.